Bad flops news. Meghan's nightmare can't fake mom stop as Meghan lies public jeers. Meghan Markle's a controlling tyrant, her Netflix disasters imploding fast. She's snapping at guests like a dictator caught on tape, total madness. This snooze-fest flops so dire, you're switching off in droves, what a sham. She's poured millions into this tripe and it's still pure rubbish, who's shocked? It's laughably fake. A production train wrecked not even her house, for crying out loud. No cooking skills, just chopping veg like it's a talent, give us a break. You're shredding this nightmare to bits, and we're here for every juicy second. This is royal riffraff, your front row seat to her meltdown. Buckle up, you lot, it's a wild, wicked ride. Meghan Markle's with love. Meghan is a flaming catastrophe. This Netflix stink bomb's Bella flopped so hard it's a wonder the screen doesn't crack. Critics are slamming it as the dullest pile of nothing ever aired. And you lot are right, they're swinging the axe, it's a bloody massacre. 146 of you are tearing this disaster apart like it's a piñata at a granny's tea party. And I'm here cackling at every brutal blow she's done for. The reviews are pouring in like acid rain. She's flushed $100 million down the drain on this vanity flop, and for what? A pathetic number 6 debut on Netflix, then straight into the abyss. You're raging. Netflix shelled out a fortune for that garbage, then had the gall to hike our fees. Too bloody true, they're robbing us blind for this tripe. One of you roared, "I'm 75 and my time on Earth's too precious for this boring rot. She's not worth a second." The streaming giant's executives must be sweat. Spot on. You'd rather knit socks than suffer this drivel. At least you'd have something useful to show for your time. You're not holding back, it's a full-on revolt. Someone snarled, "I'm 65 and couldn't choke down the first episode, it's absolute muck." Too right, even the hate watchers are snoring. Another one snapped, "I'm 67. And I'd rather have pins stuck in my eyes than watch this vacuous twaddle." The senior citizens are leading the charge, and their takedowns are absolutely savage. Ouch, that's savage and I'm living for it. Critics reckon it's so mind-numbing it wouldn't even pass as lift music, and you're proving it with every furious jab. The show's tanking faster than a lead balloon, and the audience reactions are pure gold. She thought she'd wow us with this overblown ego trip. Oh, Meghan, you deluded soul. You're absolutely seething. "I'm 72, and I wouldn't touch her dismal copycat rubbish with a 10-foot pole." She's no match for real chefs who have spent decades perfecting their craft. Spot on, she's not even in the same universe as your grandmother's lovingly crafted shepherd's pie, let alone professional cuisine. One of you brilliantly quipped, "I'm 68 and fell asleep faster than a narcole." Brilliant observation. Netflix should seriously consider rebranding this as their premium insomnia treatment. They'd make a fortune in the sleep therapy market. Another seasoned viewer hissed, "I'm 79 and completely baffled. They shelled out good money for this overpriced, pretentious bilge, crikey." When even the wisest generation is calling out this farce, you know it's hit rock bottom. The viewing statistics are a brutal reality check. It's nosediving globally like a lead balloon in a hurricane. You're scoffing. Number 6. Complete bollocks, they're definitely massaging those numbers to save face. Too bloody right, even with Netflix's marketing machine working overtime. It's plummeting faster than her already tarnished reputation. One particularly fired-up viewer raged, "I'm 66, and I'd rather spend my afternoon scrubbing toilets with a toothbrush than watch her." Love that raw honesty. She's been thoroughly outclassed by basic household chores. What a glorious legacy to leave behind. Another viewer, sharp as a tack, sneered, "I'm 81 and I'd rather watch my magnolia walls dry after a fresh coat than endure this pretentious, self-indulgent slop. Absolutely priceless." She's losing the ratings war to home improvement projects, and we're all here for it. She's completely miscalculated her target audience, definitely not you switched-on lot. You're snarling with justified indignation. I'm 63 and far too occupied with my advanced ballet classes and university lectures to waste precious minutes on this mindless rot. Too right you're out there living your best lives, achieving real goals while she's flailing about in borrowed luxury. One of you hilariously cracked. Even her pampered pooch got so bored, it managed to pure comedy gold. That discerning dog has better entertainment standards than the Netflix executives. Another viewer landed a perfect punch with, I'm 70 and this mind-numbing drivel nearly finished me off. My 3-year-old grandchild's artistic fruit arrangement has more depth and creativity. Absolutely hysterical, she's being thoroughly outshone by a toddler's culinary efforts. And you're not merely bored, you're righteously outraged. Someone thundered with conviction, I'm 65 and deeply insulted they assume we'd fall for this superficial nonsense. We weren't born yesterday. Damn straight. You've got impeccable standards and this amateur hour performance doesn't come close. One particularly astute viewer fumed, I'm 73 and I've got zero patience for her pathetic attempt at entertainment. We've got decades of life experience to see through this charade. Absolutely spot on, you've had her number from the very beginning. Another perfectly aimed zinger. I'm 61 and I deeply resent being targeted with this patronizing trash. We might be retired. The cherry on this catastrophic cake. You're absolutely demolishing her screen presence with razor-sharp wit. Someone brilliantly sneered, I'm 66 and this show is so monumentally awful. I had to abandon ship after a mere 5 minutes. It's complete and utter tosh. An insult to entertainment. Absolutely spot-on assessment. Pulling the plug early was a merciful act of self-preservation. One of you delivered this comedic masterpiece. I'm 72 and I genuinely find Ma pure genius. She's officially hit rock bottom when barnyard poultry provides superior entertainment value. Another viewer unleashed their justified fury. Netflix must have completely lost their marbles splashing out £100 million for this pretentious, self-indulgent claptrap. It's daylight robbery. Too bloody right, the streaming giants executives have emerged as the ultimate jesters in this expensive farce. So, let's call this exactly what it is, a catastrophic failure of truly epic proportions. A televisual disaster that'll be studied in media schools as a prime example of how not to blow $100 million. Does she honestly believe we're all eagerly lining up to consume this half-baked drivel, this monument to mediocrity? Not a snowball's chance in hell. You're systematically dismantling this vanity project piece by piece, and the resulting inferno is absolutely magnificent to behold. Next up, prepare yourselves for the shocking revelation of her dictatorial tendencies with her so-called guests. Buckle up tight, folks, because this exposé is an absolute corker. Meghan Markle's transformed into a power-tripping control freak on an unprecedented scale. Her Netflix show has become a masterclass in micromanagement gone mad. She's barking orders at guests like a petty tyrant drunk on delusions of grandeur. And your eagle-eyed observations are catching every single passive-aggressive eye roll and subtle sneer. A whopping 40 of you are absolutely incensed about her domineering behavior, and I'm here lapping up every delicious detail she's proved. That excruciating encounter with Mindy Kaling stands out as particularly painful. Meghan maintains her plastic smile until Mindy commits the cardinal sin of addressing her as Markle. Heaven forbid, darling, it's Sussex now, and she delivers this correction with a death stare that could instantly petrify a basilisk. You're absolutely seething. Did you catch how she mockingly mimicked Mindy's accent? What an insufferably condescending piece of work. Spot on, its textbook narcissistic pap. Bullseye. She's displaying all the emotional depth of an AI programmed for royal pretensions. She's not merely difficult, she's running this show like a megalomaniacal boot camp instructor. You're justifiably outraged. The way she verbally ambushed and ridiculed her supposed friends Roy, Mindy, the entire lot of them. absolutely correct. She's got them all dancing on strings like marionettes, and the discomfort is palpable. One of you brilliantly noted the atmosphere is so unbearably tense, you'd need industrial-grade equipment to slice through it. Crikey! Her traumatized guests look like they're silently praying for a trapdoor to suddenly appear beneath their feet, and who could possibly blame them? It's painfully obvious this is all about maintaining her carefully curated image. She's pathologically fixated. You're rightfully scoffing. Look at how she treats Daniel and Mindy. Completely blanks her own mother. What kind of friend behaves like that? Absolutely spot on. These aren't genuine friendships. They're carefully selected props in her personal theater. One of you thundered with conviction. She's nothing but a calculated bully hiding behind her precious title, manipulating. Ouch! That's a real stinger. She's gripping that Sussex badge with such desperation. You'd think it was her last remaining anchor to relevance. Another viewer astutely observed, she absolutely loses her composure if people don't bow and scrape to her every whim. It's embarrassingly pathetic. Spot on. It's either complete submission to her way or face immediate banishment from her carefully curated kingdom. She's completely devoid of any natural spontaneity. Every single gesture seems meticulously choreographed. You're hitting the nail on the head with, she's wound up so tight, you can practically see the production crew trembling in their boots. Absolutely bang on. It's like watching a pressure vessel reaching critical mass, ready to detonate at any moment. One particularly observant viewer noted the way she'd snap at Mindy when the cameras weren't rolling. Thank heavens for post-production. Brilliant observation. One can only imagine the treasure trove of tantrum footage that'll never see the light of day. Another viewer delivered this zinger. She's strutting around like she's queen of the hive, but she's nothing more than an irritating wasp. Absolutely priceless. She's practically radiating toxic energy. And don't even get started on her obsession with that name. It's classic control freak behavior at its finest. You're spot on with, she's clinging to that Sussex title like it's her personal life support system. Couldn't be more accurate. She's abandoned her Markle identity faster than a Hollywood starlet ditching last season's fashion. One particularly passionate viewer exclaimed, she's got absolutely no legitimate claim to that title. It's a mere courtesy designation, not a div. Absolutely spot on. She's rewriting her personal narrative to inflate her own sense of importance. Another viewer brilliantly quipped, she's giving us all unwanted lessons in proper genuflection. Thanks, but no thanks. Absolutely hilarious. We're not her personal subjects awaiting commands. Your collective insight is cutting through her facade like a hot knife through butter. It's absolutely devastating. Someone hit the mark with, she's nothing but an opportunist ordering around paid employees. These aren't genuine relationships. Couldn't be more accurate. It's all an elaborately staged production, with her playing the role of supreme director. One particularly witty observer noted, she's so artificial, even her facial expressions seem mechanically controlled. Pure comedic gold. That smile's more tightly controlled than her iron grip on poor Harry. Another viewer declared, I've lived 65 years and I'd rather face a military boot camp than spend 5 minutes in her presence. Absolutely spot on. At least military personnel are straightforward about their expectations. She's fooling absolutely no one. You've all decoded her manipulative playbook. You're absolutely right in saying she's a textbook narcissist throwing her weight around. It's completely unbearable. Dead right. Every single moment revolves around Meghan's personal agenda. One particularly clever observer noted, she's so overwhelmingly controlling, she's managed to intimidate the local wildlife. Brilliant observation. Even Mother Nature's steering clear of her toxic aura. Another seasoned viewer shared, in my 73 years, I've encountered her type before, all show and no substance. Absolutely spot on. You've got her perfectly pegged as a complete zero. So here's the unvarnished truth. She's nothing but a passive-aggressive dictator in the midst of a spectacular meltdown. Does she seriously believe we're going to swallow this manufactured nonsense? You're collectively exposing her charade for what it is, and it's absolutely magnificent entertainment. Hold onto your seats. Ladies, her fraudulent behavior is about to take center stage, and it's an absolute showstopper. Meghan Markle's Netflix debacle is such an obvious charade. It's become an unintentional comedy goldmine. This production disaster is practically begging for a laugh track to complete its transformation into a full-fledged sitcom. From blatantly rented properties masquerading as personal spaces to painfully scripted moments that fall flat, it's a sham so glaringly obvious that you'd need industrial-strength blinders to miss it. All 32 of you brilliant observers are howling. She's parading around a borrowed house like she owns the place. What an absolute farce. You're absolutely seething with frustration, shouting, "I simply can't get past it, it's not even her bloody home." Couldn't be more accurate. She's playing the role of gracious hostess in someone else's kitchen with such conviction. It's almost impressive. One of you brilliantly observed, she's literally prepping for a sleepover in a rental property. Which genius thought that would come across as authentic? Absolutely spot on. It's the equivalent of borrowing your friend's designer dress and trying to pass it off as your own personal couture collection. The sheer audacity is breathtaking. Another keen observer hissed, "She actually admits it's not her property. Then what's the entire point of this elaborate charade? Couldn't be more right. It's nothing but a hollow performance lacking any substance." The level of fakery has reached astronomical proportions. Even the carefully selected guests can't help but notice. You're howling with laughter. One of them actually blurted out, "This all feels so incredibly fake," and somehow that made it through the final edit. Bloody hell. That's the kind of monumental editing oversight that makes television history, a rare moment of unscripted truth slipping through their carefully constructed facade. One of you brilliantly sneered, "She's such a phony. That pristine beekeeper outfit is fooling absolutely no one." 2. Right, any genuine beekeeper worth their salt gets properly dirty, not dolled up for a photo shoot. Another observer roared with laughter, "The whole thing is so obviously staged. I wouldn't be." Absolutely brilliant. They've probably got better agents and more authentic dialogue than our leading lady. The production quality is an absolute shambles. It's like watching Amateur Hour with an unlimited budget. You're justifiably furious. Every single moment screams fake. That shady editor should be sacked. Couldn't agree more. They can't even properly conceal the obvious production seams. One particularly witty observer quipped, "She's got an army of 80 staff members just to slice fruit, and it's still a complete disaster." That's a savage burn. She's got a payroll bigger than most Hollywood flops, and what do we get for it? Another viewer expressed their frustration, "I'm 66 years old and I've never experienced such intense secondhand embarrassment. It's absolute rubbish." Spot on. It's like watching a DIY disaster unfold with an inexplicably massive Hollywood budget. She's desperately trying to sell us this polished fabrication, and you're all seeing right through it. You're scoffing in disbelief. Who actually cooks in full makeup, dressed head to toe in beige, with their hair flowing freely? Absolutely right, she's a walking food safety violation. One particularly observant viewer snapped, "That loose sweater dangling over the food preparation area is utterly ridiculous. Crikey, there's probably more of her hair ending up in the soup than actual dialogue in the script." Another viewer landed this devastating blow, "I'm 64 years old, and my grandchild's plastic play kitchen setup looks more authentic than this. Absolutely priceless. She's been thoroughly upstaged by a toddler's toy set." The sleepover segment, an absolute comedy of errors that's leaving audiences in stitches. You're practically roaring with indignation. She meticulously orchestrates this extravagant evening soiree only to unceremoniously show the poor chap the door. Spot on. It's the equivalent of rolling out the red carpet for your grandmother. then slamming the door in her bewildered face. One particularly sharp-witted viewer observed, "She's actually preparing luxurious bath amenities for a guest in Samoa." Absolutely hysterical. What's her next brilliant scheme renovating the rental property from top to bottom? Another viewer, dripping with sarcasm, declared, "I've lived through 73 years, and I genuinely prefer to spend my evening watching television static than endure another minute of this manufactured nonsense." Couldn't be more accurate. At least static interference has some genuine entertainment value. The production is so amateurishly executed. Every staged moment stands out like a sore thumb. You're absolutely seething. She's nothing but a pretender. There isn't an authentic bone in her body. Dead right. It's like watching a parade of plastic performances. One particularly astute observer commented, "Even the carefully arranged fruit display looks uncomfortable. It's clearly aware it's part of this elaborate charade." Pure comedic gold. That artistically arranged rainbow platter looks like it's silently screaming for rescue. Another viewer bellowed, "I've reached the ripe age of 71, and this spectacle makes my amateur home movies look like Oscar-worthy masterpieces." Absolutely spot on. At least those old family films captured genuine moments. Your collective commentary is mercilessly shredding this fabricated festival to pieces, and it's absolutely magnificent. Someone astutely pointed out, "She's so obviously performing, you can practically see the production crew cringing." Couldn't be more accurate. The palpable tension is practically radiating through our television screens. One particularly cutting observation noted, "This isn't a documentary series, it's essentially an overproduced infomercial for her carefully crafted." Hit the nail right on the head. She's desperately trying to sell herself as the product, but we're not buying this performance for a second. Another viewer quipped, "At 66 years old, I'd find more genuine entertainment in watching my kettle reach its boiling point. At least it produces authentic steam." Brilliant observation. She's been thoroughly outperformed by household appliances. So here's the unvarnished truth. This is such spectacular fakery. It's transformed into unintentional comedy. Does she genuinely believe we're gullible enough to swallow this elaborate performance? You're all brilliantly exposing this charade for what it is, and it's absolutely entertaining. Now, let's prepare ourselves to witness her culinary expertise, or spectacular lack thereof. This should be thoroughly amusing. Meghan Markle's cooking show is a sham. She can't cook her way out of a paper bag, and this Netflix flop proves it. She's serving up a big fat nothing, calling it gourmet. What a laugh. 27 of you are shredding her kitchen cluelessness, and I'm here lapping up every roasting. She's a culinary catastrophe. She's chopping veg like it's a bloody Olympic sport, and that's it. You're raging. I fell out of my chair when she spun that lazy Susan with a TADA. Too bloody true. It's a party trick, not cooking. One of you snapped, "I'm 64 and my grandkids play kitchen's got more skill." Spot on. She's outdone by a toddler's plastic stove. How's that for a chef? Another one hissed, "She's cutting strawberries in half. Groundbreaking. My arse." Too right. My cat could do that with its eyes shut. This isn't a cooking show, it's a chopping charade. You're fuming for a cooking show. There's no cooking, just moving food around. Too true. She's a plate shuffler, not a cook. One of you sneered, "I'm 73 and we've been doing this since the 50s. She's no pioneer." Blimey, she's decades behind your grand's roast. Another one roared, "She's so bad, even her dog wouldn't eat it." Love that. That mutt's got better taste than Netflix. She's flogging basic nonsense as genius, and you're not having it. You're scoffing. Yogurt with raspberries, she calls it parfait. Give us a break. Too right. My corner shop does better. One of you quipped, "I'm 67 and I've been cooking since I was 11. She's got nothing on me." Ouch, she's been schooled by a lifetime of real kitchens. Another one hit, "Soda and eggs." She's been set up. What a clown. Too bloody true. That's not cooking. It's a science fail. Her guests try to prop her up. It's pathetic. You're snarling. Chefs praising her onion chops. Are they paid to lie? Too right. It's a scripted ego boost. One of you cracked. I'm 71 and I'd rather boil my shoe than watch her skills. Hilarious. That shoe'd taste better than her mush. Another one raged. She's a fraud. We old women know real cooking. Too true. You've forgotten more than she'll ever learn. She's got no flair, no finesse, just faffing about. You're raging. I'm 66 and my hens peck better meals than this tripe. Too bloody right. She's losing to poultry. One of you sneered. Rainbow fruit plate. My 5-year-old does that. Pure gold. She's been trumped by a kindergartner. Another one snapped. She's so useless. Even the bees won't pollinate her. Ego, priceless nature's rejecting her too. The premise is pointless. Who's this for? You're scoffing. I'm 68 and I'd rather muck out my horse than learn from her. Too right. You're out there living, not gawping at this rot. One of you quipped. She's teaching grannies to suck eggs. We've been at it for decades. Bang on. You've got more chops than she'll ever dream of. Another one roared. I'm 75 and I'd rather watch my veg rot than her plate it. Too true. Decay's more entertaining. You lot are carving her up and it's delicious. Someone hissed. She's a pretender. My home ec class in 68 was better. Too right. She's a throwback with no talent. One of you cracked. I'm 79 and I'd cook circles around her blindfolded. Genius. She's no match for your seasoned hands. Another one sneered. Netflix wasted millions on a non-cook. What a farce. Too bloody true. They've backed a dud. So, here's the dish. She's a kitchen zero. Does she think we're swallowing this tripe? You're serving her a roasting she'll never forget. Pure fire. Her public's turning up the heat. Next, brace yourselves. It's a scorcher. Meghan Markle's Netflix flops getting roasted alive. The public's tearing it to bits, and social media's a slaughterhouse. This disaster's so bad, folks can't even hate watch without giggling first. 14 of you are leading the charge, and I'm here for the carnage. She's a punchline in a crown. Everywhere you look, people are laughing her off the screen. You're saying, critics start with a chuckle or giggle that says it all. Too right. It's a joke before the review even begins. One of you added, I love watching clips just to mock her. Pure gold. Too true. TikToks turned her into a meme factory, and you're the stars. She's so out of touch, it's a riot. You're scoffing. Local beekeeper. Who's she kidding? This isn't the 1800s. Fair point. Most of us don't have bees on speed dial. One of you sneered. I'm 72 and I'd rather watch YouTubers rip her than her show. Smart move. The takedowns are juicier than her fruit plates. Who's got a beekeeper in their backyard these days? The backlash is relentless. She's sinking fast. You're pointing out even Netflix hit it can't find it on the homepage. Too right. They're burying this dud like a bad secret. One of you quipped. I'm 65 and loathe her. Her squad can't save this mess. Spot on. Even her fan club's gone quiet. How's that $100 million looking now, Netflix? Younger folks are savage. TikTok's a bloodbath. You're noting kids are roasting her tedious act. It's brutal. Too true. They're not buying her elevated nonsense. One of you said, I'm 66 and my grandkids laugh at her. Who's this for? Good question. She's lost every age group. What's the point of a show nobody wants? She's a has-been in freefall. You're calling it. You're raging. She snagged a deal for this rubbish she's done. Too right. Her stars faded to black. One of you sneered. I'm 64 and I'd rather watch my nails grow. She's irrelevant. Harsh but fair. She's yesterday's news. Who'd bet on her after this flop? Social media's a circus. She's the clown. You're laughing. Every clip's a gag. Her bath salts could peel paint. Too true. It's a DIY disaster gone viral. One of you added, I'm 71 and the internet's tearing her apart. Glorious. Right you are. She's trending for all the wrong reasons. Does she think this is fame? You lot are merciless and it's a sight to see. Someone said she's so bad, even haters are bored. Too right, even the trolls are yawning. One of you quipped, I'm 73 and I'd rather knit than watch she's a bore. Fair call, you're crafting better entertainment. Another one hit, her show's a laughing stock, Netflix won't touch her again. Too true, she's cooked her own goose. So the verdict's in, she's a public punching bag. Can she dodge this roasting? You're burning her legacy to ash, and it's a wicked show all its own. Let's wrap this fiasco, the finale's calling, and it's a corker. Meghan Markle's Netflix nightmare's a wreck, tanked hard, and you're loving it. She's a control freak bossing guests, pure farce. Fake as a £3 note, who's buying this rubbish? No kitchen skills, just flops, yawn city. Public's roasting her alive, she's toast. This is royal riff-raff, your kind of riot. Like it if she's driving you mad, more dramas coming, ladies.